Counts. Alrighty. So how do we do this? All right, what's going on, folks? Yes, we are live. Yes, you had a choice in what game to see me play. And, well, you guys decided Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for the Nintendo Switch. So that's the one we're playing. Yes, I have played the other Xenoblade games. I've played Xenoblade, the original, on the Wii. I've played the Definitive Edition on the Switch. I've played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I've also played, I guess I know it's an expansion, kind of a prequel to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which kind of tells the story before 2, like the pre-story, which is Xenoblade Chronicles, the Golden Country, I believe. Could be wrong on that one. Like that, it's been a while since I played it, but we are definitely going to be interested to see how this plays. So I'm going to attempt music this week because I have no idea whether or not it's actually going to get claimed by, well, Nintendo, and copyright are kind of annoying. So yeah, there is that. For those that are wondering, yes, this is the actual physical edition. I don't generically, when it comes to Switch games, I generically prefer to have the physical copy of said games, just because look at the Wii U and Nintendo, and you know, they just kind of shut everything off. So yeah. While we're gonna let the room fill up here for a bit, I'm gonna give this about another 3 or 4 minutes. We'll go over some of the games that I actually do have on the Switch. So specifically, I do have games that I've downloaded, but mostly because they're on sale. Like I bought AI: The Somnium Files, the original, for like $8 for Switch. Astral Chain, fun cyberpunk type game. Uh, Atelier Ryza 2, I still got to finish that. Atelier Ryza 1, I finished. Batman Telltale and Batman Enemy Within, I've already actually played. Then we got Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2. Yes, I'll be getting Bayonetta 3 when that comes out. I should say, not exactly the most family-friendly games to play. Beautiful Distillation. This is kind of like an interesting take on Wasteland and those kind of games. You know, the old school Fallout field kind of game. Black Future 88 is a shoot 'em up bullet hell kind of game, so it's a very Contra kind of game as far, but you have the whole shtick of it is you have 18 minutes to beat the game. Black Arts 2, well, we played that and well, we saw where that got me. Blades of Time, it's a kind of an action beat 'em up, 3D beat 'em up kind of game. Blaze Blue, it's a fighting game. It's this particular one is actually a cross between Blaze Blue and Persona 4 Arena. Blue Reflection is a 3D JRPG. I'm not going to get too much into that. Quarter Z is very much just it's a run down the hallway, kind of run away from zombies kind of game. JRPG. Dex, easily one of my favorite games. I have this like 17 different ways. Then we have Digimon Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. I have that. Fatal Frame. I have this actually on the Wii U, which is the original consoles for. Then Fate Excel Link, which anybody who's knows the origins of the Fate games, I'll leave it at that. Fear Effect Sedna is a kind of a isometric view for the game. Fire Emblem. I actually, it sounds bad for an RPG fan. I've never finished specifically Three Houses. G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. That is just a fun co-op game. Ghost Runner. It's a hard one shot, one kill kind of game. But cyberpunk, so big fan. God Eater, it's an anime. It's, well, at least this particular one is more anime feel. Heavy story on focus, but it's kind of got that Monster Hunter vibe to it. Grand Guilds is it's an alright game. Hell Orders, I'll let you determine what that is. Joe Denver's Lone Wolf. This is a story, like choose your own adventure kind of story game. John Wick Hex. Fun little game that is a pre-planned route and watch John Wick do all said things. The Grand Legacy is a nice callback to JRPGs. Mega Man Collection 1 and 2. Dungeon Crawler. Only reason I own NBA 2K19, it was $3. Beat 'em up. Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, and 3. I got that from the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection for physical edition for Switch. Persona 5 Strikers, that's like the bonus content. And this is a 3D Mushu game. I'm probably butchering that name, but Dynasty Warriors kind of game. Tactical game. Raging Justice, think Streets of Rage and those kind of games. JRPG, fun, kind of throwback 2D, 2.5D horror game. Clock Tower, those kind of games. JRPG, beat 'em up. Strange Brigade, if you kind of like those popcorny, actiony, 1940s kind of games. Dragon Ball Heroes is a card game. SAO, Fatal Bullet, Hollow Realization, Tales of Vesperia, JRPG, Trails of Castile, RPG, first person kind of a puzzle game, RPG. So anyway, now that we're there, let me just do one more thing and we'll get started. Alrighty, so let's get into Xenoblade Chronicles 3 finally. Um, this series has a long, interesting history. It is based generically, the version of this is based around Xenogears or Xenosaga, depending on how far back you want to go. Xenogears was a 2D action 2D JRPG as far as its battle system goes, turn-based but action-based. It had a really unique battle system, very story-focused. Then you got Xenosaga, which was supposed to be like a 6-game kind of trilogy-ish system game. Didn't quite go that way. They made 3, and the game became uber hard to find. And good luck. And Bandai Namco has been like, yeah, no, we're not gonna remake them. So yeah, interesting there. So Monolith Soft has gone on with Nintendo actually to make Xenoblade Chronicles. And originally, this did not come out. Nintendo refused to release this to the West. And then Project Rainfall, which is now a video game website, was able to get this. I forget the other games that were part of that list. There was this, another one, and there's a couple of different games for that. But one of this, Pandora's Tower, and I know one more. There's 3 of them, and I can't think of the third one right off the top of my head. But they brought these to the West, and well, Xenoblade Chronicles has become a giant franchise for Nintendo now as far as its RPGs. 1, 2, I mean, they did a remake for 1. I have Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is not part of this continuation of series, unfortunately. Though it should be. Okay, let's get into playing some games. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So this is supposed to tie the stories from 1 and 2 all together. There's Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was for the Wii U. It's kind of its own thing. Alrighty. So do note, you guys chose this game, not me. I just gave you options. I already updated the game ahead of time, so there is a day 1, I guess, patch-ish kind of deal. It's not very big, which is nice. That's one of the reasons I do prefer physical games on the Switch, because you don't get the nonsense that you get with various other consoles like this thing, where you get like a 40 gig update on day 1, which is mad obnoxious. All right, let's look at the options. Camera, audio, Affinity, notifications, messages, cutscenes. Wait. Messages. Brightness, game. Okay. There we go. Not a lot of stuff, which I'm okay with. Yeah, we'll just do easier because I'm only doing this for an hour right now until I actually play this fully. Because this will be one of those full games that I actually end up playing.
Queen's anniversary is gonna start without us, guys.
Yeah, move your feet. Hop, hop, run like you mean
So
it.
graphically, this definitely reminds me of
Guys.
either one, Xenoblade Chronicles
Is it true, though?
2,
Fireworks.
but it also has a mix
Saw them setting
of,
up yesterday.
from a
Don't
graphical
know.
standpoint, like
It'll be
the
worth it,
quality.
promise.
It has a quality of Astral Chain, which not a lot of Switch games are able to balance that out right. So it's got an anime aesthetic, but graphically looking at it, it doesn't look horrible, and the effects and that kind of stuff look like really good with it. So do note this first hour is probably gonna be very content heavy. So if you have no interest in having your gaming ruined, don't watch this. Everything freezes except for him. Why is that? Oh. Is it going to tell you why it froze? Because right now you're just, I don't know. So generically, the combat in these games is very MMO-ish. You have skills, you have cooldowns, etc., etc. But it's all done in real time and stuff. The Bionis. So for those that don't know, the Bionis is the gameplay area from the first game. Or at least that image of is a callback to the Bionis. Which I thought, which is nice. Metcons, Metcon, anti-armor. So this has got like a kind of a cyberpunky aesthetic. Metal face. To it. Very sci-fi.
What is it they need to stay alive?
Do you know this is honestly I don't even know what this is rated. Usually these games are rated teen. They might, however, it might be mature given the context of the game.
But what we need most is life itself. Taking each other's lives.
Yep. Games rated teen for language, mild blood, sadistic themes, and violence. Fair enough.
While the other, the one whose essence is stolen,
leaves only a husk.
Also, the thing that I like about the games is they're not afraid to go into some really dark matter kind of stuff. I know Xenoblade Chronicles 1 goes into some really dark stuff too. 2 is a little more lighthearted, not really, but
Yes, sir. Lower and aim, sir.
1 definitely goes into some dark territory. And yes, I know for some people this is not going to be your cup of tea, and that's totally fine. I totally get that. I'm not, no offense, but I'm not here to please you guys. This is the game that was voted on. This is the one that I'm playing. Or in this case, watching right now.
Fighting in order to live, and living to fight. That's the way of our world. Ionios. Cruel irony that it should mean eternity, because slowly but surely, our world is now dying.
There's the character from earlier who had like the slow down thing going on and whatnot. Interesting. Was he able to fabricate a Monado?
Noah, there's still more of them.
Even so. Shut it! Stop flapping your gums and move!
So the Monado is a sword that he's using is from the first 2 games. Different aesthetical choices and reasons. Alright, you'll automatically attack an enemy if you approach them. This is called auto attack. Stand still, icon, turn range.
I got something for you. Thanks. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing's going. I ain't like the attack too bad. Looking good, Noah. Got you.
You got more in you yet, Noah.
We've got them pinned down. Ha! Take this.
Got you.
So one thing that I can already tell is an improvement is the gauge in which you're able to tell hit points and stuff is much bigger than in prior games, which is cool.
Let's keep on routing these fools and keep this moving forward.
So these games tend to be, I don't want to call them open world, but they are like open level. They're very big and explorable, so I'm not sure if I can actually get to the world map. No, not yet.
Noah, we gotta fight back. Time to pull weapons.
So again, the combat is very passive for the most part until you start getting into skills, which I don't think is going to quite happen yet anyway. Targeting is done through the left and right buttons, top buttons. Arts are stronger than auto attacks. They can be activated by pressing X, Y, and B. So this is where the MMO-ish kind of thing comes into play, because these are like AoE attacks, side attacks, back attacks. Now granted, all of these take stamina to do, so you'll always be fighting with position and that kind of stuff. And as you can tell, the hook on the cooldown and all that jazz. So there's
What are they gonna do? Make me yawn myself to death?
like as far as these games, this what I'm seeing thus far has not really changed much as far as the battle system. That could be different as I get further down.
Time to draw weapons.
Come here! I got something for you! You're a lifesaver. Break! Arrow burst!
So break attacks, topple,
Enemy reinforcements.
different status ailments, and that kind of jazz.
You're a lifesaver. Lightning blast! Extra!
Back attacks obviously are strong, so they'll do more damage.
Power ring.
I guess the only battle system I can really compare this to is probably Final Fantasy 12. Like that's the best one I can give as a comparison.
They outflanked us! Lance! The front line! That Trish's team? Uni, how are things with Kite? What about our backup?
Looks like they're busy guarding the artillery. They're not going anywhere. Anyone's moving right now, it's us.
Let's go! If the front line breaks, we're all dead! But
So the voice acting, which yes I can hear, is it got a very English, and I mean like England kind of voice acting. All the games do. That's just kind of the thing that they've always done as far as their voice acting. A little stiff on the turn animation there, but hey, whatever.
Alevnis!
That's what's hitting us. Well, now we know.
It's do or die, Noah.
Got it! Noah, show him your talent art!
Talent arts are stronger than normal arts. A talent art can be activated by pressing it. If you meet the requirements. Alright, attack the moment the previous one hits allows you to cancel one attack in the next. That's all attacks of the arts.
Noah, get behind the enemy's back and give them a sense of your extra.
Ground speed! Lightning blast! Hey, this isn't too bad!
Noah, now's your chance. Eat it.
Hey, I'm here! You're on fire, lad! Crackdown! Take this!
Power ring.
Lightning blast! Hey, this isn't too bad! Nice one, Wamba! Uppercut! Break! Head! Topple! You're not doing that! You're on fire, lad! Ground beat! Arrow burst! Crackdown!
Eat it.
Lightning blast! Extra! Hey, come on, we don't say. Have it!
Power ring. Eat it.
Uppercut!
Root heel.
Hair trigger! Crash down! Lightning blast! I'm here! You're on fire, lad! Have it! Bullet rush!
Power ring.
Hey, I'm here!
Hey, you barely messed
You,
with
you,
them.
you.
Have it!
Eat it.
Extra! I'll keep up the attack! Your talent art! Nice!
There we go. So situational awareness for these combat systems is very need to know side attack, back attack, etc., etc. And those their ultimates, I guess, is the best way to describe what those attacks are once they're fully charged. So the red stuff, I'm not mistaken, is mana from you know, the thing that makes the world go round in this particular series. Again, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember. Because somehow this story is supposed to tie into the other two stories that have been, or well, technically three, but the other two mainline stories. So, I don't know. I'm curious to see.
Victory!
Hey, they won! Yay! The dudes with the ears, like the wings for ears, are what they call hyantia. Bird people, basically. It's the short version.
Your lives are ours! Your lives are ours!
See a little bit of frame rate slowdown.
Every one of us is born looking like this,
Alrighty.
as soldiers, as weapons for slaying Agnians. Yes.
Not really a change of pace. I mean, last week's was very methodically slow. This one is all about the story, so you pay more attention to the story than you do anything else, Spears. As far as like the action in the story, yes, you are totally correct.
Nice one, Lance.
Too early for that. Look, it's you they're after here.
Just take out their attackers and we're golden. They're gonna get it handed to them. Flickering hoop. You're as slippery as Noah sometimes.
Uni! Chick never shuts up! Kite! Range darts!
Easy.
Uni!
Didn't account for Kite. I snuffed this up.
You okay? Uni?
Cheers for that. You're a lifesaver, Yoren.
Sparking deadweight. Hey! Change of plan. Kite, you keep firing and dodge.
Jill, out of curiosity, I'm assuming you only have a
Huh?
Go ballistic.
you know, Linux machines, not so much on the console side. I'm assuming.
Because what we're after here is that lame duck.
Yoren? But he's bottom of the class.
Why bother? Thing is, the brat's still a decent healer. Get it?
Ah, right. So we're playing by the book here.
Pisses me off. But the fight will be good as one.
Yeah!
Jill, if you want a game for Xenoblade to try that will be easier to find, and I'll leave it at that, there is a spin-off side story kind of game. Use CMU, which is the Wii U emulator for the Wii U, and on PC. You look for Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm gonna tell you where to find it because, well, legal reasons, but that'll give you an idea of kind of the games in general. Very MMO-ish in how they are played and stuff. This one's actually a lot more story focused in the just in the intro than the first one or even the second one. So I'm kind of surprised that this is still playing in more story mode right now.
Quick thinking, Lance. Lance? Tough guy, but you can't hold out forever. Spark.
Lands! You stay put. They want to take you out the running. Yeah, but don't you leave that nothing spot. Why would you? All that I am is yours. Now you can carry on.
You should have done that much sooner.
Dun dun dun. Oh, the typical high anti smug and annoying. So the high anti, we're thinking like high elves in typical fantasy. Very, very annoying.
Get off me. Had to go and play the hero, didn't he?
You really think you could have taken them?
I think Yorin did the right thing. If he hadn't used his powers back there, you'd have been first out of the running.
Yeah, but still. Didn't have to go get himself killed for it.
Come on, he was trying to protect you. He lured in Garvel's gang, gave us a chance to turn it around.
Ugh.
You know who wasn't up to it? We weren't.
Yeah, but
Just stop it! No more arguing. It's my fault. I should have just done a better job. Then we'd have won.
Hey,
So much for getting to the final, huh? Sorry. I let us down on your big day. I'm so sorry.
what big day?
The birthday.
What? Whose?
Yours, dummy. It's your second term, right? Remember?
Ah.
A win would have been a nice surprise. Lance was pretty fired up too, weren't ya?
cut it out.
Hey,
What?
you'll apologize, right?
Might do, might not.
We each have a lifespan of 10 years. We call them terms, Life begins with our first term and ends at the close of our 10th. And over the course of those 10 years,
Of course, those
we
10
fight
years,
continually.
fight continuously.
Though in reality, there aren't that many who can hold their flame for the whole 10 years. Most lose their lives on the battlefield before they reach year 10. But those who do survive to the end are honored in a special service.
We call it the homecoming. Yay!
Morning, Yorn.
Hey, Noah. Morning.
So I know there's not a lot of gameplay right now because, well, that's just how these games go. Like I said, I gave people the choice on games, and this is what they chose.
Get a move on. Quick, we're gonna miss the homecoming.
First one they've ever had here, right?
Yeah, isn't it awesome?
Shh, Jill, don't inflate Michael's ego anymore. You know, then his hair won't fit on his head. Of course, in all honesty, I think the best thing about for me, the live streams of Scale is hearing Ryan admit that he's terrible at video games.
Whoa! Even the Queen's come out.
So that's Her Majesty, huh?
Wow. I've never seen her before.
Oh.
So, Jill, out of curiosity, are Ryan and Michael gonna try to do next year's Scale too?
So cool! I heard the stories, but this is just wild. That's gonna be me someday. Just you try and stop me. You guys too. You're totally making it with me.
Of course!
And you, Noah, right?
Huh? Sure. Yeah, you bet.
Our lives came from the Queen, and we all lived for a chance to take part in the homecoming. The chance to return
Well,
to
that's
the
cool.
Queen's embrace.
I did notice that you guys got a lot of people that did actually know about the show, which I'm kind of surprised about, especially those that, especially on a show like, especially on a event like Scale, where you think that would be like the in the know people. So I'm not gonna lie, I really don't have a lot to say as far as the games related, because there's just not a lot of gameplay to this right now. Very story focused, very heavy as far as like the subject matter compared to some of the other games. don't really know what else to make of said game at this point. The battle system is pretty much what I expect from a Xenoblade game. It's MMO-ish in the way it's implemented. Very ability, cooldown, attack, cooldown kind of ability. The presentation is actually really good as far as graphically speaking, except for a few slowdowns here and there where you see it. Yeah, audio-wise, the voice acting has got that very
Do you have to?
proper English, England kind of vibe going to it,
Sending those guys off like that.
which is fine.
What?
It's not bad. It plays to the aesthetic of the
It's
game.
Agnes, our enemy.
As far as the music, I like the music. I've always liked the music from the Xenoblade games. Any of the Xeno games.
They
It
all
doesn't matter if it's Gears, Saga, or Blade.
So
They're all good good audio.
There's no rule not to.
then what
Sonically
do you do?
pleasing to the ear as far as the music. There we go.
I don't get you, Noah.
I know we're putting our lives on the line, but still,
Yeah, we get it already. Friend or foe, someone has to lay them to rest. For
Jill,
that
I
is
guess
my
the best,
role as an
probably the
officer.
game that would come closest
Right.
gameplay-wise to this that you could probably play is
Sorry,
Final Fantasy
wasn't trying to
XII.
be anyone specific. Right, I've had about enough of all this depressing crap. Let's head back and hit the showers. I'm all gunked up with blood and sweat.
Bye, transport. Guess we missed it again.
Oh, bollocks! Oh, Noah always does this. How many times is it we've had to walk home now?
Or if you want to try something totally out there for people who will say that I'm insane for liking these games, I actually like the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. It's just different. Yeah, it's not a lot of exploration. Yeah, it's very corridor crawl, but if you like faster paced combat, not gonna lie, confusing kind of out there story, definitely will say that. It is definitely cool in that regard, and you can usually get them pretty mad cheap as far as that. There are places across the world that will give you EXP once found. Key locations called landmarks, and especially difficult to find ones are called secret areas. When the whole party has been incapacitated in battle, you'll return to the last landmark you pass by.
Good once
Cool.
over.
Minimap. Z plus Y. Yeah, so one thing these guys don't do when it comes to the games is hold your hand. They do not care. So if you go exploring and you find an enemy that's like 45 levels above you and you run into it, that's on you, dog. Like, that's kind of what they do. I'm okay with that, though.
The secret to a long life is knowing when to leg it.
Oh, sweet. I don't actually have to...
Oh, this is rare.
That's awesome. So one of the things with the old games is when you had to collect stuff, you literally had to go through and hit A and collect stuff, and it was kind of obnoxious. You know, oh, hey, look, you ran over a tree, but it doesn't collect it. This one, all that stuff is just kind of out and about, which is a nice turnabout. So I do like that. That seemed to me that is something that means it respects my time, which is something that I find fewer and fewer games tend to do.
Fight with focus.
I practically know this one by heart.
Come here. I got something for you. You're a lifesaver. Uppercut. I wish we could have avoided that. What were they gonna do? Make me yawn myself to death? Topple. Head trigger. Ground
Okay, yeah, I definitely like that battle mechanic far better.
Pronto. Fight with focus. I know. I'll rein myself in. Make this quick. Come here. I got something for you. Thanks.
Level up.
Here we go, guys.
Let's give him the usual, Noah.
Make this quick. Sounds good to me. Come here. I got something for you. Thanks. That was over way too soon.
Hear that, Noah? Lance wants something a bit meaty.
Supplies.
Here we go, guys.
Let's give him the usual, Noah.
We got the initiative. Nice one. Come here. I got something for you.
I mean, personally, I would say a few different things. This particular game is not going to be a game generically people like Ryan or Michael would generally enjoy, just because
Let's give him the usual, Noah.
it's these can be a grind, I'm not gonna lie. If you do not like long games, or if you have like a ADD kind of attention span with some of these games can be kind of a slog to get through, not gonna lie. So like story focused games are very specific, so the gameplay might hook somebody, but from just what I know of these games, it's a hard sell for some people, and that's fine. I definitely totally get and understand why it's not for everybody.
I could have handled that on my own. We aced that one. Here we go, guys. Right on. Make sparks fly, Noah. Come here. I got something for you. You're alive.
Actually, Jill, if you're still here, there's actually a series that I can recommend for you that will play on the Steam Deck really, really well, and kind of give you that science fiction-y kind of vibe that plays heavily into kind of this kind of vibe. Either Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, or I would also recommend Tales of Arise, because the sci-fi elements are more pronounced. Abandoned container. Oh man, the Neopons. Mad obnoxious as far as how they talk. Not gonna lie.
I hope we can make use of this.
Yeah, this is very straightforward as far as equipping items. Like, there's really not. I will give them credit. Like, aesthetically looking, they've nailed it. So that is definitely cool. Like I said, these games are very much a take of exploration and a few other things. So you'll either like them or you won't, and that's really all there is to it, unfortunately. Campfire. Good, means I can... Or, nope. Not a campfire. Dead body. Noah is an officer, a soldier who helps the fallen pass on, sending any quests you'll find will build your affinity with the colonies they belong to.
We can't leave it like this.
Oh, okay, so that's kind of got like a Legend of Heroes, the original trilogy vibe going on. That's cool. All right, how does save system save? Let me save file. Okay. So overall, do I like this game? It's about what I expected, which is not a knock, far from it. Graphically, it's a mix of probably the closest thing aesthetically I can think of is Astral Chain, graphically speaking, or another one would be God Eater 3. Those are probably the ones that I can think of the most that this game reminds me of. Not a knock on it whatsoever, but definitely very story focused. So if you have ADD and you know action needs to happen all the time with your input, this might not be the game for you. A lot of systems in it. I already know how these games go. If the MMO style combat is not your thing, definitely you can understand that too. Again, these are all systems and games that will take some getting used to. What's going on, Steve? So, is it worth it? That's that's up to you, really. For me, I enjoy these games, so this is like a no-brainer day one purchase to me. So I bought it day one. Like I don't generic. There's not a lot of games I buy day one, but this series is definitely it. Probably the next game that I'm buying day one, honestly, is probably going to be Bayonetta 3. Like that's how, and that doesn't come out until October. So, and this came out at the end of July. So you're talking like 3.5 months of me not buying a game at full price. It is definitely an interesting time to be a gamer. I am finding more and more of my gaming being done via the Steam Deck, honestly. Right now I'm actually finishing up Siberia, The World Before on the Steam Deck as my primary way of playing it. So this game will get completed. I honestly don't know when, because example Siberia 3 I've had, or Siberia, The World Before I've had since like March, and I'm just, what is it, July that I'm now just getting to it. Yeah, Piers, unfortunately, as much as I love the Bayonetta games and I would love to play them and stream them, they're not the most family friendly. So I tend to, very rarely do I ever actually put out a rated M kind of stream, at least on this channel. I do try to keep that stuff in mind. Now, it doesn't always work, but you know, I do have to at least attempt to be family friendly with the content as far as the gameplay and that kind of stuff, or the, shall we say, in Bayonetta's case, the aesthetics of the game. I'm not saying I always succeed, far from it. There have been rated M games that I've streamed and played, obviously. I can't say that it's been perfect as far as that, but definitely a game that I have no problem recommending if you're an RPG fan. For this is, if you've played any of the Xenoblade games, this is, I don't want to say more than the same, but this will be up your alley, so go ahead and get it. If you have a Wii U and you want a Xenoblade game, get Xenoblade Chronicles X. You can get the thing like, I think like maybe $20. I know Wii U games, physical games, have shot up over the last couple of years. I haven't really worried about it because I got my Wii U back in like 2017, so it's like whatever to me. Yeah, so if you're lucky enough to find a game for the Wii U, They have Xenoblade Chronicles X. You have to find it in store, but they have it for like $19, which isn't a bad deal at all. I will say I would avoid trying to buy any certain things off of Amazon when it comes to the, like, if you go the Wii U route, can be a little interesting there, not gonna lie. Honestly, there's one game I don't even know if I'll have. Resident Evil, Arkham. I honestly don't know if I have that. Not good one I have Hyrule. Interesting. Anyway. So, with that, I will leave you guys with the following. If you are a story-focused gamer, go get this. It's a no-brainer. If you are a fan of MMOs, exploration, go get this, because it has both those as well. If you have a short attention span and always need action, this is not the game for you, bub. That's kind of where it falls. As far as the aesthetics, I like the aesthetics. As far as the sound is what I expect from a Xenoblade game. It's good. Voice acting is good to bad. You know, not good to bad. The voice acting is good, but there can be annoying characters which make it bad. Let me rephrase that. Other than that, is it $60? I know how much I'll get out of this, so I'm not too worried about it. For me, if you don't fall into the prior categories, be willing to explore. That's all I can say. But I want to thank specifically DigitalOcean and Bitwarden for sponsoring the live stream that we do here every week for the Tux Digital Network. So make sure you go over to tuxdigital.com/sponsors and check out our fantastic sponsors. If you go and look at DigitalOcean and use the code TUX2022, you can get $100 credit to your DO account if you are a new sign up. So definitely cool there. Bitwarden is a fantastic password manager, open source too, and for $10 a year, you can support an awesome project and you get some nice perks too. All that information is at, again, tuxdigital.com/sponsors. So I will catch you guys next week. I will give you guys some more choices for games that we will potentially play, and we'll go from there. And just do note, Ryan admitted he's terrible at video games. I'll catch you guys next week.